Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Our Philippine journey, Mike and Arlen. Thanks for joining. I don't get this. Are you taking advice about what Filipinos are like, or what women are like, or any of that from people who have failed consistently on that subject? You know something? I think we should really talk about this.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay. I get baffled sometimes. I watch a lot of YouTube, okay? And I see so many men giving relationship advice, or I see so many men talking about what Filipino women are like, what they do like, what they don't like, what their families are like, what their families don't like. And yet they have a consistent track record of failure in those areas. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to relationships, where to find the best Filipina, how do you determine the best Filipina? How do you find the best relationship? Do not listen to us. We don't give that information because we failed. I failed. Arlen didn't. I failed. I failed twice in the United States. Okay? I have two ex wives in the United States. I should be the last person giving relationship advice on how to find the right woman. Now, Arlen and I have been together for 10 years, over 7 of those years married, both in the Philippines and in the US. And I still wouldn't give that information out. And when I say give that information out, I wouldn't consider myself an authority to be able to tell you what Philippine women like and don't like, what's acceptable to their families and not acceptable. And I think that that's for multiple reasons. But we see YouTubers, male YouTubers, doing this all the time who have multiple failed marriages in their home country and multiple relationship failures here. The information, you know what they should give you? They should tell you how to fail in a relationship. But one thing is common, one thing is really common. I don't see them, with the exception of two, I don't see them ever acknowledging that they were part of the problem. I don't see them acknowledging that they played a role, a significant role in the failure of their relationships. You know, if you're watching a YouTuber who is living with a different girl every 6 months, I'm not sure that's going to be a great source of information about what a Filipina is like. Now, they'll all preface this, and I'm going to tell you, they do this as a hook. That's what YouTube calls a hook, a way to keep you involved in that video. They're all going to say, most, not all. Most, not all. Well, you know what? Most bears shit in the woods, but there are a few that are in captivity. They shit in the zoo. Okay, sure, it goes without saying, most, not all. There are outliers in every situation. But they're going to tell you, most, not all. That's going to be their way of hiding, the fallacy and the flaws in what they say. They're going to tell you all kinds of different things. We see these YouTube channels. Lately, we've been seeing a lot of these faceless, nameless YouTube channels where they're just downloading video clips off the internet and then adding their narrative to it. They've never even been to the Philippines. They've never been with a Filipino woman. Wow. How do they know? How do they know? Are you taking advice from them? Now, I will understand. I do fully understand. In order for an educated man to continue to become educated and to be able to look at all sides, he has to look at multiple angles. And so you watch these videos because in the back of your mind, you're saying, well, that may not apply. But the hook that they put into you is most, not all, because they want you to feel like, well, if he already has a girlfriend, I want him to make sure he's thinking that he's the exception to the rule. And so therefore he's special and he's going to continue to watch it. You know, I don't know. I don't have an answer about relationships. I can tell you about our relationship. We're limited as to what we say about it. I can tell you that we've been together 10 years. Arlen doesn't mind us talking about that. I can tell you how long we've been married. I can tell you all the positive things that Arlen does. But that doesn't make me an authority on other Filipino women. And to be honest with you, I begin to believe that Filipino women differ. Their outlook differ. A 20-year-old woman is going to think differently than a 40-year-old woman. Okay? That's the first issue. A born in an upper scale family, educated in a reputable educational system, and went on past primary school into college and has a job, is going to think much differently than a provincial girl who works in a sari store that has a total sales of maybe 300 pesos a day. I'm not talking profit, I'm talking sales. So, I mean, women vary from place to place in their socioeconomics and from location in their geographics. This is common all over the world. This is not, specialized here in the Philippines. It's no different. It wasn't different in your home country. What makes these men so well versed? I cannot begin to understand it. Are we guilty of it? Yes, we're guilty of it. We watch some of these guys because I want to see just how screwed up what they have to say is. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about the guys that were in a relationship and it's ended miserably and now they're bitter and depressed about it, and they continuously think that every Filipino is after them. They think this because they're hurt. They think this because it's their experience, their one experience. And you can't blame them. You really can't blame them for thinking that because they're hurt. They're depressed about it. They're rejected. They got rejected. I mean, you think about it for a second. Here's a guy who's got maybe his Social Security. He has a steady flow of income. And his partner just left him after X years for a trike driver or for whatever, who is like 5 steps, 10 steps below him on that socioeconomic scale. Well, What part did he play in that? Do you ever see him? And I'm not pointing a finger at anybody, but do you see these men acknowledging that they played a role in the destruction of their relationship? No, very few, very, very few. And for those that are out there that are men telling you, come to the Philippines and live your life and leave your kids behind and don't pay your child support and don't do this and don't do that, just because that worked for them does not mean it will work for you. That's for sure. Are these the kind of men that you're going to listen to? Listen to them. I'm not saying don't listen to other YouTubers. I'm not saying that at all. I think that there is fodder in their verbiage. There is, for a smart person, you can dissect what's going on. You can take a look at it. You can look at their previous videos, if they have any, and then turn around and understand at least some of the basics as to why they're coming from that direction. It's simple enough. Why do people listen to some of these idiots? It's beyond me. Other than the fact that they're gathering information and they understand it's heavily biased, it's misunderstood, they're misinformed. Sure, they feel that way because that's their experience. But that doesn't mean it's everybody's experience. Not only that, the blanket that they lay out there about how Filipinos are is such garbage. Filipinos vary from street to fucking street, and people need to get that straight. They really do. It varies, I mean, not just from the province to the city, but literally blocks away. They can be very, very different. Their families and the way their families bring them up, their friends and the peer pressure that they get from their friends, the internet, social media, and the interaction that they have. All of those things play a huge role, and it makes them all different. Are there some basic concepts? Perhaps. But I think we see these basic concepts melting away. Individuality is not something that's going to disappear. It's becoming more and more prevalent. It really and truly is. I can't say it any other way. In the comments, please, I really want you to comment. How do you feel about YouTubers that have totally failed multiple times portraying themselves as experts on the same subject that they failed at? How do you see men that have failed in relationships making these claims about relationships on YouTube that accept that they were part of the problem? Oh, how many of these men just think they walk on water, that they're God's gift to women? Money doesn't make you God's gift to women, and it never will. It didn't in your home country. It won't here. Oh, that's just the bottom line. Some, but not all. Maybe. Most, if not. That's for sure. You have got to be able to understand that it takes two to make a good relationship. And if you're not willing to put in that effort, you're going to be at a loss at some point in time. But in the comments, tell me, what do you think? I'm really interested to know. Arlene is actually interested to know because she doesn't understand it at all. She doesn't understand how anybody could listen to XYZ, even for bad information to evaluate it. She doesn't gather that concept. So in the comments, let us know. Tell us how you feel. Tell us your experiences. Tell us what's going on. We would really appreciate it. Otherwise, please do subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and have a great day.